Hey guys, I wanted to come back on again tonight because I know that some of you all were wondering about Cornerstone Separators. So I want to make a video for that. And I'm hoping that the comments work this time on Facebook. I think it was because I had multiple Facebooks open in different browsers. So I think that was the issue. So I'm going to wait for a few people to join before we start and see what we can come up with. We're just going to learn the ins and outs, what you can and what you cannot do. Um, so that's basically it. I'll just wait, see if anybody joins. If not, then I'll just continue. But still, let's see if anybody joins. Got a couple people now. What's going on, Jimmy? Alrighty. I've got a development site built right here that I've been doing a lot of testing on that you guys are probably seeing floating through the group with different headers. Alright, I'm seeing some of the comments. I'm hoping that I can get a live feed of the comments. Thanks, Kristen. I'm hoping I get a live feed and I don't have to refresh every time, because if I do, that's just going to be horrible. Let's see. You're doing what I'm normally doing. Let's see, I just want to make sure comments are still working. Alright, so I've got a development site built here, and I've got the latest version of Pro installed. It actually came out today. They released it probably around noon Eastern time. So what we need to do is launch into our content. And from there, we can start developing our Cornerstone separators. Still want to make sure these comments are working. Okay. From there, we have our pages. These are all the test pages that I've been working on, as you can see. So right now, we're just going to go ahead and I'll stick with a simple one, just so we can work on that. Okay, so as you can see, I've got my different sections here, and you can see them here. And I've just got them different backgrounds so you can see different where they are on the page. And you can see that this gap is just taking up 500 pixels, just so that we can get some height going on. So from here, all you have to do is click on the actual section, not the container or not the column, but the section right here. And then you're going to click on this magnifying glass and not the row. Once you go there, you have options for the top separator and the bottom separator. Now, it doesn't look like you have much right now, but you definitely do once you start picking your different styles. So for example, let's pick a bottom separator type, and let's do an angle out. So that's going to push it outwards towards the next section. You can see that our section is still this big, and then it just pushes a down arrow right there. We can also, let's see if it works for the top, because I wasn't sure if it worked for the top part next to the nav, and as we can see, it doesn't. So you have to have angle bottom on the first, and then on the next ones you can do the top, bottom, things of that nature. Okay, so right now as default, this comes so that the point is in the center. And what if we want to go ahead and change that so that it isn't just the center and it's offset to the little bit? All right, so we have our bottom separator type, angle out. We can also choose angle in, curve in, and curve out. Those are the four options that we have as of now. So let's go ahead and stick with angle out because that might be the most popular that we have. So the bottom separator height, that is the height from, you see this blue line, from that blue line to the tip right there. So let's say if we wanted to do 150 pixels, you can see that that space has increased significantly. And from there we can change to be it smaller, to be none, which just basically turns it off. So, or if you could just have it so it's an outrageous amount for whatever reason, there it goes. So like, there's no limit on what you can do for that. So we're gonna keep it pretty simple at 50 right now. And so this bottom angle point, think of this number as a percentage from left to right. So right now it's at 50, so 50%, which is in the middle of the screen. If we change that to be 75, you can see that it goes over to the right 3/4 of the screen. And that goes all the way from 0 to 100%, or 0 to 100. So if you hit 0, it's going to go all the way to the left. If you're going to do 100, it's going to go all the way to the right. Which those are probably going to be the more popular ones that people are going to be doing, so that it kind of slants down into here, goes down here, goes down here. For example, if we do a bottom separator with the angle out, and we do 0, it kind of works like that. Any questions so far? I don't see any comments. I'm hoping not, because I'm refreshing. I don't see anything. So you could do, basically that's probably going to be the most popular one that everybody's doing. You can always do angled one side and not angled the other side. So we're going to go back up to here and we can do a curve out. So this is basically the same thing, except you only get a height. You don't get like a percentage left or right, because the curve only stays in the center. So you can always make it 100 pixels or 200 pixels, whatever your heart desires. 20 pixels, a slight curve. Sometimes if you do that, it'll just add the smallest bit of effect to the site that you're developing. So it all depends on what you're actually doing with the site. From there, like I said, we have the 4 options. That's about it. So if we do angle out, and we do, let's say we do a 60 pixel, because we wanted it pretty deep. Do you see how it's kind of cutting off a little bit of this content area? Well, we can adjust that by going to the section, and we can add a padding to the top. So it's 50, 60. So 60 looks like it does it really well. And we can just add the padding so that the content is no longer going to be cut off by the separator. Same thing if we add a bottom separator here with the angle in. Let's do angle in at 50. So for example, let's do 100 pixels. Do you see how it kind of cuts off this content at both corners? We go to that one, we take the padding, and we just bump that up to be what we need it to be. Yeah, Kristen, I don't think that's an option, but I did see it on a website recently in the group that somebody did it. Try looking through the showcased status from earlier today. It might be in there. From there, so like I said, get your content the way you can show it the whole thing at one time. And of course, you can change your background colors, things of that nature, so that you have that. I'm not going to do too much details into like actually styling this, but you can actually just see how it looks. And it all depends on what you have at the top. If you have to where it's just a custom headline, um, then you might be able to work it without that padding involved. That column right there, I'm sorry, the section, to where you might not need that padding. Let's see what happens. So maybe if you want it like that, you can always do something of that nature. Add add stuff here, elements, add an accordion below, add alert. You can basically do whatever you need to do to make that happen. Okay, let's go to 80. And we've got, so we can basically do all of our design work. Anybody have any questions about separators and what you can and cannot do with them? They're really self-explanatory on how they made them. So there's really nothing left to do. There we go. So now you can actually see a full section. Yeah, so what to take out of this, you cannot do a top separator on the first one. Let's see, and if you need to adjust your section padding, go ahead and do that, just so that the content doesn't get cut off by the separators. The most common one is going to be this down with another down, or a down with the other opposite down. So those are probably going to be the most common. Get creative. Go ahead and just start toying with it. Do something that looks a little bit different, and you'll be so surprised of what comes out when you're just fooling around with it. Manuel on mobile versions. Let's see. So we have a mobile version here, and this padding right here, we can work. I think you just need to work with to see what's going on. Yeah, it seems like everything could be working really well. Just take it one step at a time, and if you're using separators, just double check on Android and iPhones to make sure that you're not getting any weird funkiness going on mobile. I know that's not saying much, but that's about what you can do. You want to try and use calc on those paddings. You got an example of what you want to do. I'm not sure if Cornerstone likes calc. Maybe it does. Maybe I'm just doing it wrong. You might be able to use calc. Try it out. Let's see. It looks like you should be able to use calc on those paddings. I'm sure I saw on the XTeam website it was possible to do this on a single diagonal line rather than a point. I missed that start of the video, so I'm sorry if you mentioned this earlier. Yeah, Ian, so you can do diagonal. Basically, you just need to make it so this, where is it? Where the bottom angle point needs to be either 0 or 100. And sorry for it being so tall. I might have a calc in here. There we go. And I've got a really big height. So something like that, Ian. Real simple, just enter it as 0 or 100 and it would be a complete slant. Let's see. So it seems like the Facebook comments are still a little weird, but I'm getting to them as you guys comment. So let me know. Let me know if you have any other questions. But yeah, separators are just real simple to do and to work with. And I believe that ThemeCode did everything that they could think of to make them mobile friendly and easy to apply to any section. I would love to see some actual image ones, or maybe ones where we can upload our own SVG file and do it. I know a big one is clouds. A lot of people do clouds. And maybe like a grunge kind of rough looking separator. That would be awesome as well. If they would do upload your own separator, that would be pretty cool. So, if there's no other questions, there's nothing really more to show about separators than that. The separators are not built into the header and footer builders. I'm not sure why. I haven't seen any functionality for it. I think for the diagonal below the menu, you can add a section with a gap and make that the separator below. For the diagonal below the menu, add a section with a gap and make that separator below. Well, let's try it. So we have a separator with a gap here. Not sure how much of a gap we need though. Maybe do like a 1 pixel gap, and then we can kind of work on the padding to be 0, 0. Change it to be the same color. Think that would work. That might be able to work. Something around there. It's not the right color, of course. I don't know what the color is that I used for this sub menu. The color that I used for the sub menu is this one. There we go. Something like that, maybe. That would be kind of cool. Let's get out of mobile. We could do something like that if that works for you, Manuel. Manuel. I keep pronouncing your name wrong. Maybe the gap is not necessary. It might be. I think it is, unless you apply a height to this column. I think unless you apply a height to that column. Let's see. But it still looks pretty good either way. Manny. I will try and remember that for next time. Let's see if we can make this even smaller. Maybe, maybe not. I think we're about as small as it goes with it. But that's one way you could do it. Let's save and open this in a new page and see what we come up with. That's not bad. Shrink it. You're good to go. It's not bad. Good job, Manny. I like that. I like that trick. But yeah, I'll try it without the gap for a live version. Just really kind of messes you up. Pushed it down a little bit, but it looks like it's just still work. There you go. Looking good. This whole page looks lovely. So that's basically it. Do you guys have any additional questions for me? I shall wait. So basically, everything is just pretty. What you see is what you get. WYSIWYG, and there's really nothing to it with the separators. You just got to know what each function does, and now that you do, go out and create very awesome website pages. It's so much fun to use the separators. Don't overuse them because now that they're available to everyone, everyone's going to start using them. So only use them when you have to. Otherwise, every site that you make is going to look the same, and no one wants that. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, evening, night, and I look forward to the next video, guys. All right, guys, have a great rest of the day. I will talk to you later.